Maria, I saw this painting. Why are we painting a bug?
We are painting a beetle, and you'll have to watch and find out.
I stand corrected. It looks like some Egyptian beetle that I know. I know history.
Yeah. Okay, we'll find out.
Hello to all of my BPTV friends, YouTube friends, Facebook friends. I'm Alan Levine, the Talking Machine. I'm here to do my 43rd, the Maria's Ideas Teaches Us to Paint.
Hi friends, we are here at Johno's Art Studio in the south side slopes of Pittsburgh. If you are ever in the area, you're welcome to stop by. Our websites have our hours. We are very, very excited. I think we've been trying for about a year to get our super talented, very interesting, multi-layered friend, Tim.
I can't start a conversation about this without mentioning Dan, Gladys, and Jamie Zala first. They are two of the kindest, sweetest, most generous people. Hilltop Coffee was founded by Dan and Jamie in 2020, so at the height of the pandemic, great time to start a business.
I like their style.
Yeah, no kidding.
And they're still around.
Yeah, exactly. So we were connected because I'm a roaster first. In fact, I didn't know anything about being a barista, the front end of the coffee business, until Jamie taught me. I got on-the-job training, and well, we connected in 2024. I was looking for a place to roast within the city of Pittsburgh, and they were looking at what to do with that coffee shop there.
Yeah.
And so, you know, one thing led to another, and the next thing you know,
You're roasting together.
Yeah, I'm roasting on site. So we
and you have your roaster right there.
Correct. So I have a small electric 1.2 kilogram roaster. That's about 2.5 pounds. Being a roaster first, I've roasted for a number of years now, and so I love being able to bring that that artistry, that science.
And it is like an art and science. It's
it
amazing.
really is.
Yeah.
And it's a lot like baking in that way.
Right.
I mean, anybody who's spent any time baking understands its chemistry and its art.
Well, I cook. I do a cooking show, The Speedy Gourmet, so I respect that.
Yeah, you understand. But
it made me understand. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I love being able to roast in front of people. We actually have a roast your own coffee event where you can sign up and you come in.
How cool is that?
Yeah, you can.
You got to go Hilltop Coffee.
Yeah,
come on,
absolutely.
Go.
Yeah, and Thomas and Fisk Roasters is the name of the roasting company. So it's two businesses in one spot.
It's wonderful. It's small. It's intimate. It's like going to your friend's home. You hang out. Everyone feels welcome there, and we get people up here in this area from around the globe. Really, they come in. They're traveling. They stay in different places. So it's a wonderful space. It really is.
Yeah, and in my view, I think, and this sort of carries on the Jamie and Dan's vision for the place, giving something back to the community.
Exactly.
Is first and foremost.
You've partnered up with them.
Yeah,
roaster.
exactly.
No, that is great.
Yeah. So
yes,
it's primarily a community coffee shop. So we, I say, if anybody walks through that door and doesn't feel welcome, then I failed. So, for that matter, if anybody walks in the door and looks at the menu and looks at the prices and says, I can't afford any of this, then I've also failed.
Aww.
So there's always something on the menu that,
it changes. We'll get into that too, but it's just a wonderful place. It's fantastic, and we're so happy to have you in our community.
Oh, I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
So Tim and his knowledge of beetles, and we can talk about where you lived at different times. So it was the inspiration, of course. So this is called Emerald and Espresso, and this is a scarab beetle, which you said you liked. I like to ask the guests, what are your most, or say top 3 or 5 things that would describe what you like, or colors, or just anything. And of course it's coffee. He brought up the metallic scarabs and some other things, and this is what I came up with. And then I have the some blues and oranges that we are in our palette because they are the logo colors too. So I will show you the colors that we're using. We are using acrylic paints. We have yellow, orange. This is phthalo green, which is very, very rich saturated. This is actually the green. It's by your orange. Raw sienna, which is a very warm brown. You can make a
It
warm
doesn't
brown
look
as well.
green to me.
It is, you'll see. And then a blue.
My eyes are old though. So,
Ultramarine blue in the black, and then we have white in the center. So, as always, we are going to refer to the image. However, you paint it any way you choose. If you want to use different colors in different areas, you paint it, that's fine. It's your painting. The goal is to make it your own, all right? So, and then also on my YouTube channel, I do have the 10-minute or 10 to 15-minute tutorial for how to draw your canvas, any size that you're using, if you need that help, all right? For each episode, there's a corresponding video. So we are going to start with, and because we do this show pretty quickly, we don't have time for things to dry in layers and all, but acrylics dry fast. So, but we are going to start with outlining the darker areas. Sometimes we do that, sometimes we start with the background, but we are going to kind of sketch the darkest dark areas of the beetle, not a bug, right?
That's right. Well,
And then just maybe some shadows.
I'm glad we clarified that. Good thing
That's
I
right.
gave that tease.
That's right. So grab your
All
plate and then grab one of your little, we're going to use one of your little liner brushes, little round liner with the little, yep.
Like this?
And then put that in the water and then just dry it off. And anytime you're drying off or taking paint off of these, you always roll it. You roll it like this. You don't smash the tip because that will mess with the brush.
Good to know.
So now what we're going to do, so the black is over here, and we're going to take a little bit of black and put that on our plate. And you can see how I rolled that to clean the brush off. And then a little bit of water. And the reason we're doing this, we want this a little bit more like an ink consistency because we're going to draw with it. So now what you want to do is just look at that image and just, so you can see very lightly, just sketch in the darkest, just out, you're pretty much outlining. Okay, outlining the beetle, and it doesn't have to be perfect. You can see I'm just very.
And we roll the brush.
When you do that, that puts the point back on the brush.
Yeah, no, I want to clarify that.
Yeah,
so,
because
yeah.
if you're loading the brush in there, it sometimes collects at the front of the tip. So just real quickly come in and just hit just the darkest areas. Don't pay attention to what you're painting. Don't worry about that. Just any dark area. Because this we can go over when you paint with acrylics. Most of the time you're putting down the dark color and then the light colors are last. All right, and don't worry about those little hairs on his body. We'll do those also last. So this is the little leg that's on the other side, so you want to make sure you don't forget that. And you can see here, if I take the brush and I start up here and I lift the brush, so I do this, see, it kind of makes like little,
oh yeah.
the little, what would they be called? Are they like little hairs?
Yeah, I guess so.
And that's, yep, that's up here. That's that little leg, it's in the distance. And then, just come in and hit. You might have to reload your brush. So I'm just coming in. You almost wanted to give it like a coloring book look. You're coming in, you're picking out these dark areas. And the reason you want to do these first is we do want it to be outlined with the dark color. However, we don't want it to be too thick. So as we're painting with the green, we can cover up some of this dark paint. It's easier to control the line, if that makes sense. So you can see I'm just kind of filling this in. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect. Just pick out. And Alan, did you see for the leg? So I just kind of went like this. Just pick up the brush. You can see I'm just using the tip. And then when we get into those little hairs afterwards too, we'll do that. So this detail doesn't have to be exact because we still have to paint that background around it. We're pretty much just outlining. So anywhere you could see there's like the little shadow here. Our light source is like the upper right. So our shadows, so when you keep that in mind, if you end up painting in a different manner or style than I do, just keep that in mind with the shadows and the highlights. I'm going to do this here. Interesting little faces, huh? Yeah, that looks fantastic. Yeah, you're just picking out some of this dark, and then even the, I would say probably you don't have to worry about too much on the mug, but right down here maybe, and then I'm the rest of it will do, and you can see it doesn't have to be, I just got to clean off my brush, right? But I could tell you've painted before, you're good. Let's see, that's pretty much it. I mean, if you wanted to, you can always thin it out even more and just do very lightly, because you don't want the, I don't want the mug to be too heavy of an outline, but I'll just do real light. It's just kind of dirty water there. Give me some dimension, and they have that handle in there. That looks good.
You've done this before. This is not fair.
I have. That looks great. So now I'm going to show you that green, right? So then we'll rinse the brush. You don't want to leave your brushes in the water, because once they bend, they will stay that way forever, even if you re-wet them. It would take some time to do that, but it does happen. So now I'm going to show you this green, phthalo green. Now you can see, it's green.
Love it.
Now that's very rich and saturated. But we wanted that to paint a metallic surface.
And
is
we
a
use
little
the same
tricky.
brush, just to
So
clarify?
I apologize, yes.
Yeah.
I picked up my little filbert, which is a little curved 1/4 inch filbert brush. It has a little curve on it. And
this
if you've
little-
watched it
this
before,
little one here?
yes, I love my
Okay.
little filberts, and then
Thanks for
because
your
when you're doing
directions.
curvy shapes, it just helps. So with a metallic, if you look at it, obviously this is not metallic, but it has a little bit of that suggestion of metallic, and that is just simply the variation of color, but also the value of the color. This is the same green, but it's very dark, it's very light. Using different colors, the light source is hitting here, so that's lighter.
Wow.
So there
This
are a
looks
lot of
metallic
colors
to
in
me,
here.
though.
So we're going to take just this green. And also you can see how transparent it is?
Yeah, it is.
So when you see paint, sometimes they're marked opaque or transparent or translucent. This is what that means. So if you're trying to cover something up, it's not going to happen with this unless you do many, many layers. So I'm taking this and I'm laying this in now the darkest beyond those black. Just lay it in. As you can see, you'll still see the canvas. Look at the picture and just lay some of this in those darkest green areas. And it has a little bit of a blue green. We have yellow in our palette. We can also add that. So it doesn't look dark enough yet. We'll
I
build
like
that
it.
up. But yeah, it's a nice, when you paint, if you want to paint a natural landscape or something, this is not the green you'd use. Now you knock it back, the color, with adding other things to it. But it is a beautiful,
You will show us
beautiful
for
color.
sure.
Yeah, so if you know your color wheel, which I saw you have like a little color wheel for your coffee flavors or whatever.
Yeah, it's actually a flavor wheel, but
yeah,
it's very
flavor
similar.
Oh, that
Yeah.
flavor wheel is very unique.
Yeah, so if you know your color wheel, and I wanted to knock this back, meaning make it not so saturated or intense, the intensity, you would use an opposite color. So on a color wheel, the opposite is red. So you would take a red or like a burgundy or a wine color, and if you add that, that will tone it down. And we don't have red, but we can maybe do that a little bit with an orange color or something. It's close. So you can see I just laying this dark, and then on the legs too, just throw some color on it. You're not being precise. You're just kind of layering again. Now you
I'm
can
far
see,
from precise on this.
I
Yes.
know. Now you can see where I did the black here. Now look, if I go over, this would be considered a glaze. If I go over that black, you see how interesting it made. It's not
Yeah.
just, it's still dark. It looks like black, but it's not a true black. It just gives it a little bit more
That really does.
interest. And glazing, you can use water. You can add different mediums to create glazes, but a lot of artists will build up, like when you're creating something that just has a lot of dimension and interest in it, and especially like if you're using watercolors or you're thin your paints down, that's all those layers of glazing. It looks great. And again, don't worry about doing the same brush strokes. Like if you want this color, in fact, you know what, I'm gonna just clean off my brush and I'm gonna throw some over there, just because it kind of maybe will kind of balance the colors a little, because I have a pale color of the green in the background, but I usually I'll just clean off my brush. So that's pretty much all we're going to do on that. We're going to let it dry. So when you're doing something dark, you definitely want to give it a chance to dry so that it doesn't pull into your lighter colors. So, and that is why a lot of times we'll do the lighter colors in the backgrounds first. However, we wanted this to dry, and then I may want to cover over some of those black lines as we paint. That looks great. And then you'll layer your colors. But yeah, let that dry, and then you can clean off your brush. We're just going to throw some color on the bottom now. Now I'm using a 1/2 inch flat, so you can clean that brush. Now the raw sienna, you buy it already mixed like that, so the natural color. But if you don't have it, it's okay. Just mix up a brown. If you have a darker brown, you can mix orange with it, which will warm it up. It's kind of like a caramel color. And that is what I'm putting down on the bottom.
Oh, okay.
And then you can see, now you can use a different color if you choose. This is the shadow. So we're just going to lay in this color first, then we'll come back in, we'll darken it, and then we'll lay in the shadow on top. So just cover that background. So I'm just taking the raw sienna. This again is somewhat transparent. I'm going to...
I like your theme of transparency today.
Yeah, it just, some are, some aren't, and for different reasons, I guess. So, but I am going to, I feel like I'm going to add, do you hear a chicken clucking?
Yes.
That is my phone. That's in the back room. Sorry about that. Okay, so I just mix a little bit yellow, white. You do whatever you want with it, but I just, instead of keeping it just the solid raw sienna. So now I'm coming in and I'm just filling in this background. It doesn't have to be horizontal brush strokes. You can just kind of do whatever. Now, because you could see this is transparent, you see when I went over this right here, you can see that through. So there are times when you paint, you want paint to be transparent. Usually if you want to make it a little more opaque, if you add a white to it or a certain color that is opaque, it will do that. It will knock the color back. It won't be as intense, but it will make it more opaque. But you can see how that makes it interesting. You could still see those brush strokes, right?
Yeah.
But I added a little bit of yellow and a little bit of white, and that will make it somewhat more opaque. Now up here, so it's a little richer here. You can even add, it has a very, on the picture it looks very more orange. You can even add a little bit of orange. Your Hilltop coffee colors, your orange and blue and white.
Yeah, and interestingly enough, the Thompson Fisk color is mostly green. It's a shade of green,
really?
yeah. But
Nice.
by the way, Thomas and Fisk are
Yes.
the two maiden names of my grandmothers. So it's kind of a tongue-in-cheek way of making us sound more fancy than we
No,
really
I
are.
love
It
it
does.
though.
It sort of sounds
And it's
English.
meaningful, so
Right. That's Thomas and Fisk Limited. There you go. That's it.
yeah,
I get that English vibe there.
yeah.
Yeah, but my two grandmothers, Edith Thomas and Eleanor Fisk, were
Oh, thanks for shouting their names out.
farmers' daughters, two of the most down-to-earth people.
Aw.
I think if they were alive today, Edith would laugh at the idea.
Oh, really?
She'd think it was funny, and I don't think Eleanor would be impressed at all.
No way. And you honor them.
That's funny.
Yeah, they both had their own coffee rituals, and that's our tagline at Thomas and Fisk is elevate your daily ritual. And I say this constantly, don't yuck somebody else's yum. If
Whoa.
somebody
That's
else
true.
likes something, you
Exactly.
yeah, just because it may be something that you used to do and now you've elevated in your mind your ritual. It doesn't mean that that's the only way to do it, or
Exactly.
again, everybody's palate is
I
different.
appreciate what
Exactly.
you're saying there. Yeah.
We have no room for coffee snobbery.
That's right.
Whoa.
All right, so you can see I came back down, I filled this in, I added some white to this area because our light source is here, so it's lighter, and it also made it a little bit more opaque. You could see that. I left the shadow area because I'm just going to make that with the darker color, but I'm just filling that in. I cleaned off my brush with that extra white yellow, just kind of threw it in there. And then I would say we are going to block in the mug. We're not going to overly detail that, and we're not going to worry about the fine details yet because we want to get back to our beetle. All right, so I'm going to clean my brush, and I'm going to take I think I want to put a little bit of blue in this. I'm going to take black and a little bit of blue, so it's not a true black. And then I'm going to add some white. When you go into your whites or in your colors, I usually go on the edges so it doesn't contaminate. Like if you write down in the center, it just helps sometimes.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that.
Yeah, so what I'm doing is I'm making a kind of a blue-gray. You can see it's not a true black. I just feel like because
And
they
what
have
brush
blue
are we
in there.
using there?
The flat. And then what I'm going to do is just come in with, I'm looking at the shadows. It looks a little bit too dark. And the acrylics dry darker, so keep that in mind. So whatever color or tone you have, it's going to dry a little darker. So I'm just pulling down the shadow, and this is a little darker than the picture, which I feel like I want it to be. I feel like it's a little too light on that. And then here, we have some shadows here, here, and we have just blocking in the darkest, so just like we did with the beetle. Just look at the darkest shadows, whichever color. There's grays, you could have 1,000 different kind of grays. You just pick any colors, mix your colors. And if you're using the colors on your palette, then it'll work because it's made up of the same colors, right? Different variations of it. Now I'm going to clean my brush, and there's still probably some paint on it, but I just wanted it very light. Put that in here. Okay, and while it is still wet, I'm going to take the white, little bit of the gray I pulled into it. I'm going to warm it up a tiny bit. Let me see, some orange and yellow. So it's a little bit of a warmer gray, and I'm going to put that here. Definitely looks different than my picture. All right, I'm going to let that dry, and then I'll come up here. So the little bit of the shadow on the inner part of the mug is here because the light source is here, and then it would be brighter here because you would see it. It would be able to hit that, so that's why that's there, and that's what helps give. Not that we need this to look like a photograph, we don't. But if you wanted to give it some depth and shape, that's what you'll need to do. It's the light and the shadows that do that. And I'm going to let that dry, and that's pretty much it for that, because we're letting that dry. The background we can do after this. So I am going to work on these other colors now on the beetle. We're going to take, I'm going to take the larger filbert, 1/2-inch filbert, which is the round brush, and we're going to take this green, which again, very saturated. I'm going to put that on my palette, but off to the side. Without cleaning my brush, I'm going into let's see, I will do a little bit of white. And then I want to mix that beside it to see if I like that. Now with that it gives it leans more toward like that minty cool green. I want to warm it up a little bit, so I'm going to add a little bit of yellow, and you can see that warms it up. Okay, so now I'm going to look at those mid-tones on the beetle, which is here. There's some here, here. And this is one of those things too where you could really spend a lot of time on this to make it more realistic. At this point, we're not trying to do that, but we can go back in and add more little details as it dries. Now you could see this area here that's just solid black, but I have this color on my brush, even though it's a large brush. If I go like this and flatten it on both sides, that gives me that chiseled edge. And I can come right in here with that little, and now you can see if I hit that little bit of green, that pops it. So we went from dark, now we're doing our midtones, and anywhere that you want it to come the most forward to your eye, that's the lighter. All right, if that makes sense. So now I'm coming in, I'm just looking at my midtones. Now I would imagine, because we're mixing our own colors, some of these might be brighter, some might be bolder, doesn't matter. It's your beetle, right? So let's see, we're going to put some here, here, and you can fill it all in and layer it that way too. You could do something like this, just lightly hit it with So I'm kind of cleaning off the brush. I like to do that. I don't know why, but I just kind of clean off my brush and I'm just throwing in color, not necessarily the way it looks on there, but the way I feel like this painting needs it to be. I usually paint, if I have to paint the same thing twice, it's never the same, if that makes sense. Plus, I don't like to paint the
You're
same
very
thing.
creative. It makes sense.
I don't have the patience, I don't like to paint the same thing twice, so.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, that's not.
Well, there's a parallel there to making drinks for people. I always,
Yeah.
you know, I love making the drink as much
Yeah.
as I love roasting the coffee beans.
Yeah.
Oh,
to
wow.
brew the drink, but it's
Well, you're having some fun
every
then.
time I make one, if it's a special and it's got cold foam and it's got fruit garnish or something, I like it to be, you know, something that's picture worthy or Instagram worthy
yeah.
as well.
Go
But-
to Hilltop Coffee and see Tim in action there.
It's
Yeah.
amazing the different drinks you have up there.
But I always panic when somebody orders two of the same thing because I think, oh Lord,
It won't be the
they're
same.
not going to be the same.
No, it's like a little.
We know your
it's
secret
like art
now.
in a cup.
Yeah, it is.
Right.
As long as it tastes great, but you know,
It
you
does.
eat
Yeah.
first
And
with your
iced
eyes.
teas.
The interesting thing about the sense of smell is, you know, a big part of my roasting training was sensory, and so when you
that's
when you
interesting.
start learning about the sense of smell and the sense of taste, and you start
And where did
realizing.
you learn this at?
So the Specialty Coffee Association is the international body that
Okay.
rates coffee. If you ever seen coffee and it's
Oh, yeah.
rated an 86, that's a scale that Specialty Coffee Association uses. They have a series of forms they use to.
Oh, really?
to,
This is interesting.
So
yeah.
when they're doing a cupping and to determine the quality of the coffee, and
the taste.
yeah, and they have you know there are people called curators who are the like a sommelier in the wine
Okay.
world, and you have to be certified, you have to be trained, you have to be.
And you got all that
Oh
certification.
no, absolutely not.
Wow.
I do not. But
Well, you're
but
teasing
those are
me
the
with
people.
it, so I respect that.
Yeah, those are the people who would you know tell us
What's up
what
there?
the coffee is that we're you know what the quality of coffee. Of course, the more you spend time with it, the more you realize what's going on. But the differences
Well, you're
between
learning, actually.
yeah, the differences between the sense of smell and the sense of taste are interesting because we very often just assume they are related when
So there's differences there.
well, there are. So we assume they're related in ways that they're actually not. And one of the ways to point that out is if you really don't like the way something tastes,
Yeah.
you hold your nose. Well, why do you hold your nose? Because your brain is, you're fooling your brain into thinking that you're tasting something, but in reality you're smelling it and tasting it. So when you hold your nose, you are separating those senses out, and that way you can taste it where the taste is more palatable than the smell and the taste combined.
Thanks for explaining that.
And
yeah.
not only that, but the sense of smell is fascinating. Of the five senses, the sense of smell is the only one that sends signals to your brain through something other than the amygdala, you know, the lizard brain.
Yeah.
So all the other four senses sends messages to your brain through the amygdala. The sense of smell on its own sends messages through the olfactory bulb.
Wow.
So, I mean, fascinating when you think about how unique that sense is.
That is.
Yeah. And
No, thanks for going deep on that. Yeah.
and so when you're doing a cupping or a tasting, one of the first things you do is you want to smell and try to take in what it is you're smelling. Try to describe in your mind what it is you're smelling and try to pull out those different components that you're smelling. Because, again, a lot of times we smell things and taste things in combination
Would you have
with
an
other
example?
things. Yeah, I'll give you an example. If you've ever enjoyed chai,
Yes.
chai is if you want to say curry. They're
I've enjoyed both.
yes. So and both of those are not one individual thing. They are many things.
Right.
or
It's a
if you've-
combination.
Right. So and any kind of cooking, you know, if you got a soup or a chili or gumbo,
Yeah.
you're tasting everything that's in there. So if you've never had each of those individual ingredients by itself,
Yeah.
you may not know. Your brain doesn't know what that.
How to register it.
Right. Exactly. So very often.
I'm your straight guy now.
There you go. One of the things I'll do
No,
is
that is amazing. Yeah.
we make several of our own syrups, and one of them is cardamom. And
So good.
very
Yeah.
often, a lot of times, you know, people have never had it, so I'll I'll give them a sample and not tell them what it is, and say, try this and tell me what you think it is.
Yeah.
And
what do they say?
a lot of times people will say something like clove, or
Yeah, I love clove. Yeah.
because they've had it with
With-
clove.
I
Right.
would do that. Yeah.
So they don't. Their brain is registering. Oh, that's
It's-
that thing.
Exactly.
That's where I would register.
Right,
Because
and-
I like clove.
Yeah. So this is again going back to the coffee example. One of the things I do is I only roast single origins. We can always make a blend after I roast, but
Yeah.
the reason I do the single origins is each origin has its own unique flavor profile and aroma
It's
profile.
that distinct.
Yeah. So and there are a number of factors that play into that.
I've cleaned up some of the mug, which still needs refined. I'm going to now just quickly mix. I just want some light pastel-y colors in the background. This is a natural bristle brush. So the synthetic bristles are smooth, shinier. The natural ones will give you, and you could use them with acrylics, oils. They will give you more texture, and I just feel like I want a little bit more texture for the back. I'm going to start, so I put a generous amount of white. I'm taking a little bit of yellow, and I'm just putting that where, now I want, whoops,
Generous,
way too much,
then little.
way too much
All right.
there. Okay, so you could see I could just pull some of that off. I definitely want some different color other than something that's too white along where the edge of the mug is, because it won't stand out if it's too similar.
And great points for all of you learning like me.
Yeah, so you can see here, this, again, this is the light source. So it's lighter here, and I'm just kind of cleaning it. Now I will rinse it. I wasn't going to, but I ended up with too much yellow. And so I'm taking that, and it still has some in there. Tiny bit of orange, because again, I want it to be more pastel-y. You can always add. So you could see, I feel like I need a little bit more. You could always add. And what I'm doing is different brush strokes like this. I'm doing vertical, I'm doing horizontal, but I'm
Oh,
not
wow.
blending it necessarily. I just kind of wanted to have a kind of more of a rough look to it. Why don't you put some of that raw sienna in there? So it's a little darker. Doesn't mean it has to be black. It just needs to be some darker color. Put some of that warmth over in here, some in here. And then I'm not rinsing it, but
I'm doing what you do, just going right to the
Yeah.
canvas.
I'm just taking the extra paint off. If you rinse it, sometimes you end up with too much water, and then it's moving everything too much on your canvas. So instead of rinsing it, I just took off some of that extra paint that was on there. So I'm going back into the white and just a tiny bit of this green, because as we know, this green's pretty intense. Okay, so now we have that. Just mix that in. And I feel like maybe a little bit of the blue up in here. And I also grabbed the wrong blue. Well, if you wanted that, more of that turquoise color. I think I did that last time too. I just grabbed paints, but it's okay. There is more of a turquoisey color, which you can get if you mix blue with the little yellow in it, but ultramarine blue, not so much, and that's what I grabbed, so it's just going to look a little different. Okay, so that's my background. I can always add to it. Just kind of want to get that going, and then I'm going to clean up the mug a little bit. I'm taking my clean brush, 1/2 inch for this part, and then the curved filbert for the curved area. And I'm just taking my true clean white, and I'm coming in.
And what brush are we doing?
I'm using the 1/2 inch.
I'm
for
trying to
this.
follow you there.
So
Yeah.
I'm coming up, and I'm laying it this way because I want this. I don't want that. I want the chiseled edge. I'm just coming in. So when you do a shape like this, you lay the brush down, and you just let it rest on the canvas, and then you just pull your hand, and then it just gives you a nice clean shape.
Thanks for those tips.
Yeah, and then you can see I just kind of like tapered off and kept that a little bit darker there. And then I'm coming in here, so it's a little bit whiter here. So you have to get, if you go in, if you ask Tim any questions when you're ordering anything, you do have to be aware that you're probably not going to get a what's the word I'm looking for?
Yeah,
The,
I can't do two things at once, so.
no, but
Whoa,
I mean,
we got
no,
it.
but I mean the answer. Your replies are usually very witty, and you have to think about sometimes what you just said. Like I said,
You're getting a compliment there, Tim.
yeah, I think because don't you make cashew milk and like he does everything.
Yeah,
you were
pistachio
doing
milk is one of the
pistachio?
milks
Oh,
that
I
we
that
love
I've had.
pistachios.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
so good.
We use it for a Dubai mocha.
Yes, and that's so good. I've had that. But I remember one time asking, I said, well, I think I said, what kind do you have or whatever. And,
Oh, wow.
and I don't know. Your response was, well, we don't have kitten milk anymore because they scratch when I milk them.
Oh, that's right.
No.
Like
what
these
am
are the
I?
kinds of responses you get.
When I ask people what kind of milk they want,
Oh, kind of
sometimes you can see
yeah.
in their faces they don't know how to respond.
And of course, he doesn't do that, and he never did.
Like
it's just being a little sarcastic.
I spent
there.
hours this morning trying to milk the emu, only to find out later it doesn't produce milk. So that was a waste of time.
But yeah, you did do the
Now
kitten
that's
one on me
funny.
once. And so, yeah.
How about chickens?
We can't milk the chicken.
We can't catch them. It's
Okay.
too fast for us.
That's right. We do have our friend down the street who has chickens, not far from you, huh?
Yeah, that's right.
All right, so I'm grabbing my, you can see I'm just hitting the white, I'm just cleaning up any edges, and I will still go back in. Like, I feel like, okay, I could work another, couple hours on this, but we're not going to. We're just going to get it to where it's done. I feel like I still need some warm colors in here. Maybe a little bit of this. And then we also have our, I guess this could be espresso, right, Tim, in here?
Could be whatever you want.
Yeah. So,
She does.
and it usually has like little foam on top, right?
Yeah, the crema.
Crema.
The crema is what is bitter if you order an espresso shot.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
So if you prefer not to have the bitterness, just
No crema.
well, just break it up. Use a spoon and break it up, and
Oh, really? That's simple.
it's simple.
Okay.
Now, there are some people, and I'm one of them, who will actually just remove the crema. 'Cause
Oh,
I'm
really?
Not fond
You
of it.
don't like it?
It looks pretty, but I don't
Yeah.
care for the flavor profile.
You're a little persnickety there. Whoop.
Yeah, I know what I like, and there's I encourage people to
Stay with what they like,
yeah. Well, I mean,
or what you tell them.
go out and try. I never tell people what to like.
Oh,
But
really?
I'm always happy to introduce people to something. Like,
Sure.
if you don't like coffee,
I don't.
the first question I'm going to ask is, have you ever had mine?
No.
So
How am I doing?
if you'd indulge me and have a taste, and I would love to. I'm always more interested in hearing what people who don't like coffee say about it than people who
I'm
like
going to
coffee.
stop by
Right.
just to hear an answer from you.
Because when people like coffee, 9 times out of 10 they're going to say they like it, and they're not
Exactly.
going to give me a lot of. But if somebody doesn't drink coffee, doesn't care for it,
Right.
I'm that guy. I got to come on.
well, when you taste it, and you'll tell me exactly what you're tasting, and there are a couple possibilities. One is just that you're having a fresher approach to it because you're not drinking it every day.
No, I would. I have an open mind, so I would go in there open.
And the second thing is, I mean, I found some people who are super tasters. They didn't realize they were super tasters.
Oh,
So
yeah?
And what is a super
a
taste?
super taster would be somebody who tastes things that other people don't taste or can't taste. So you're able to taste
They could
things.
just really pick out different flavors.
You have a larger palate.
Yeah, and you might find that the reason you don't like coffee is that there's a bitterness to you, but that other people can't.
Well, I had this discussion the other day at a wedding. I don't like beets. They taste like dirt. And I've tried many different types of beets.
Yeah.
Ladies at work would say, here's sweet beets and all that. I'd take one taste.
Yeah.
I go, that's bitter. And they just,
You know,
See, they're not bitter to me. I like beets.
no, they taste like dirt.
but there's
Kinda, a little
there's
bit.
some people who will say they like bitterness.
Yeah.
I do like bitter and heat on other things, but not with beets.
Well, so no dirt for you.
No dirt
dirt.
for
All
me.
right, I'm making.
I'm glad I made that clear.
Yes, thank you. I'll make sure I don't steer
Well, that's
you
why we
toward.
do it on the show, to find out things.
That's great.
We're allowed to talk deeper, so I'm going deep with you.
Yeah, literally. I'm going to start calling you Doug.
Really?
You're digging deep. That's it, Doug.
Get it?
I just play dumb and it works out well.
I don't play.
I do.
I just am dumb.
Oh, well, I appreciate your honesty.
No, you're not.
Oh.
All right, so you can see now I'm picking out some details. It's still, when I look at the picture and I look at this, I'm like, ooh, we still need a lot to do. But I'm just picking out the little details with the little round brush, my highlights. And a lot of the highlighted area is not necessarily white. If you look at it, it's yellow, it's green mixed in with white, but then the brightest highlight will have more of the white. I feel like I need to get some more yellow in here. You can even add a little bit of white to the yellow. So we're gonna play around with this a little bit more. How you doing over there, Alan?
I'm good. I'm good.
Okay, and then these little sections here in the body where you want that to look like there are different sections. That's where that highlight and shadow will kind of pick out that. And then there's like little bit of texture. So if you just do something like this, you just add a couple some little dashes or dots, that will help with that. So this is one of those things where you're just going to keep going back and forth. Light, shadow, layers. How much of it you want to do is up to you. But every time you add a little bit more, it is going to make it more interesting. So now you could see I took yellow with this green, and that makes a really bright green here. Here, so I'll have to pick this out. There's a lot going on in this thing, isn't there?
Yeah.
It's kind of like, when you go to eat, you overeat because you were really hungry, so you eat more than you needed to.
Yeah.
I'm like that with my art designs. I'm like, I get all excited and I keep adding things and like, oh, we have to be able to get this done. But the nice thing is if you're at home doing it on your own, you can take your time. You can let things dry in between. You can come back. You can go back the next day. If you do want to save your paints, if you took something like this, or I use muffin tins, I line them with foil.
Oh, really?
You can use egg cartons. If you spritz it with water and cover it with foil or plastic, you can open it the next day or a week later and still use your paints.
That's lovely.
I don't ever throw them away. I just keep using them, and then once I'm done with a certain project, then I'll take an old canvas or a piece of cardboard or something, and I just throw all the extra paint on it and just make an abstract, and then I cut that up and make other things
Wow,
with
that's
it.
so interesting.
Well, it's like
Very
I don't
creative.
like to throw the paint away.
Oh, you repurpose everything and
do.
then you...
Or I take it outside here at the studio and I throw it on the fence.
There you go.
The planter or the fence. So now, with these this is where the dark and the light, especially in his face, I feel like if you're going to focus on anything with the detail, it would be the face, right? And that would be just getting more precise with those highlights and shadows. So I feel like I need to go back in mine with the black again. But I'm just hitting these areas here first. And then I think I still need, so right here you could see by adding this little white line, that pops this little, because this is the wings, right? I guess that's where they come together. And then we probably have some little bit of white here. And then you can see these little accents right here, like on the legs, here and here and here, because what that does, that brings that part of that leg up. I still feel like I need to add, I have to come back in with the black again for a couple little spots. So I'm just picking out the light, the white, and I'm just holding that brush and then lifting it at the end. Oh, we got to get those little hairs in here too. Let's do that. This here. So I'm going to clean the brush. If you don't have a really fine little round brush, you can take scissors to it if you need to and just take off some of those bristles. That's why I don't buy real expensive brushes, because sometimes I'm cutting them up or doing different things with them. So I took my round brush, I rolled it on my little palette here so I get that nice little tip. And now I will come in and look at these little details that I want to focus on. So you can see his eye. See, his eye just popped. We need that dark right there. And then I'll add that little highlight. We need this. And I think people maybe get overwhelmed. Like, I don't know how to paint a beetle. Don't look at it as a beetle. Just focus in on that little spot. And just, so you can you can even pull that over closer if it helps you. Just focus on that little spot.
My guy's wearing camouflage.
Yeah, he is. I like it.
Your military's coming out.
Yeah, I didn't even need to.
Ammo time.
I am curious if there's much of a difference between male and female. I'll have to
That's a
research
great
that.
question.
Well,
The nice thing is we can find out really quickly. When I was a kid, I mean, we grew up.
We had to read.
Well, and I grew up right down the street, so I would walk up to here to the bus stop across the street, or walk all the way up to the library,
Yeah.
look it up, right? Read it or make copies, and then go back home. Like, it was
Same
a
with
couple
me.
hours, right?
Yeah.
And that is one thing I do like, that we do have access to so much knowledge. It's fun.
well, we have some kids that come in the coffee shop and take advantage of the books that we have in there.
Yes, you have
Oh,
books.
you have books too.
Tim
Nice.
also is really great at supporting small local businesses, and plus everything is sourced locally that you use.
As much
right?
as possible, yeah.
Yep, which is really important.
Where do you get your coffee from then?
Several different sources.
That's why I'm asking.
They're all local. Pittsburgh has over 30 coffee roasters,
Oh yeah?
which is
Wow.
That's
Seems
amazing.
like
I
a
didn't
lot.
know that.
per capita. That's a lot.
Seems
So,
that way.
and there are a fair number of roasters who represent specific origins. So,
Okay.
there, you'll find somebody who's.
Do you have a favorite origin or origins?
I used to, but the more I'm exposed to, the less I find myself.
Your mind's open. Then.
Yeah, I'm looking for the next. I'm gonna.
The best thing.
I'm just extremely curious, and I'm always excited to taste something else. A couple of weeks
Really?
ago, we tasted some coffee I hadn't tasted before from Guatemala and from Indonesia.
So,
and
what
So that
makes
would be
them-
your new favorite.
I just
Yeah.
I just like it. It's not a favorite. I mean,
Okay.
they're all favorites. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Well, I was going to try to be specific, but you're too broad, so I won't go deeper.
So,
Yeah.
not to get into it too heavy, but how do you get so many different flavors? Is it because where it's grown, the soil, is it the actual plant, right? Like just like
Yeah,
you
it's
can
all
get
of those
different kind of
things.
oranges
And
they
different
all-
varietals. Yeah,
Yeah.
different varietals have different flavor profiles. Different parts of the world have different kinds of soil,
Right.
volcanic
So
soil.
it just affects all of that, I'm sure.
Right. So you'll find that coffee from Peru, Brazil, Colombia, you can tell they're similar because of sharing similar climate,
I
similar
see. Yeah.
soils.
That makes sense.
And then coffee from Africa, you'll find this notably different coffee from islands would
really?
be different because
Yeah.
the climate
Their
and
environment.
they're surrounded by water, which means that the winds blow differently than. So you're getting all kinds of things. In Central America, you can have coffee trees that are grown on the Pacific side of a mountain, and
Yeah.
coffee trees are on the Atlantic side of the mountain, and so you're getting. You can have differences
That makes sense.
even in one crop.
Well, like
one
going to
harvest.
Aruba, they have great winds. So probably one half of the island would be different than the other with how the wind's hitting it from the west there.
Yep, and altitude makes a difference. It also
Yeah.
makes a difference
Like
when
it does with wine, probably same thing, right?
Yeah, and also makes a difference with caffeine content. So, if you understand, caffeine is a naturally occurring
Substance.
chemical that, so the coffee tree produces caffeine as a natural insect repellent.
Oh.
So when you're growing coffee
I
at
didn't know that.
6,000 feet above sea level, there are fewer bugs up there. So
Yeah.
less of a need for the plant to produce caffeine.
So
Great
I'm always
points,
getting bit
man.
by mosquitoes. If I like rub coffee on myself, will that keep them away?
Not decaf. Not decaf. You have to rub the regular coffee.
trying to find a way.
And when you're buying your coffee for that purpose, make sure you ask them what altitude was this grown at.
Yeah.
Wow.
Make sure
Wow,
it
that's
was grown at
interesting.
low.
And if you go to his shop, the shop is amazing, and it's 0.8 tenths of a mile, right, from our studio. I have it on the sign out there. I added their a little sign out here on their little pole, and you still have the jars up there with the coffee bean.
Yeah.
Like you can see the different the stages of the bean or whatever it's just interesting. You meet every time I go up there. I meet someone interesting. You have music Tuesday nights still, right?
Yeah, we have live music Tuesday nights, and from time to time we have musicians that'll ask if they can play different days, different times, and so we've got some great Pittsburgh artists who are recording artists.
Oh, that's
who
great.
Play their own original music. A lot of times it's a cross between indie, folk, country, classic country.
Really? Okay, you got a whole mix.
Yeah, really, and it's and I love it. We've got some really talented musicians.
Mm-hmm.
Pittsburgh's loaded with. I'm friends with a lot of musicians in Pittsburgh.
I wish I could be there like every day, just hanging out every day.
Well, I'll tell you what.
Come on over.
I feel so. I said this last night to these guys that were playing last night. I said I feel so lucky to have a private concert every Tuesday.
Yeah.
What a great comment. Yeah.
It's a moment in time that will never happen again.
Yeah,
too,
I feel like king of the hilltop.
You are.
Very apropos.
So I'm not sure. I haven't stepped back kind of to look at this. You can see I'm just adding more, just with the darks and the lights. So I feel like I added some more darks on this, and now I'm going to just add some lights and probably stop on that, just look back, see if there's anything I need to refine. So I just feel like maybe just some little details with your little, if you wanted to pick the legs out, like that's where you would do that with the dark. It doesn't have to be black. It could be blue. It could be, you can mix a color, whatever you want to do with it. So now I'm taking the yellow and I'm adding a little bit of white to the yellow because I want that to be a little brighter and a little bit more opaque, and I'm just doing these last little bits on here, and then let's see, this comes out over.
I realize I have to really restrain myself from putting too much pressure on the brush.
No, you don't. That's how you paint.
That's your style.
Right, but when I'm trying to make it finer.
Yeah.
I'm a little heavy-handed.
Well.
I know, and that's
my fine. My fine is not that fine.
But that's fine. That's good. Oh, that's fine. No, but that's okay.
That's a lot of fine.
Coarse is fine, of course.
Exactly. Everyone has their own hand, and I say that all the time. Like people will, some people do very, very fine, wispy brushstrokes. Some are very heavy-handed. It's all, doesn't matter. It's just whatever feels right. No right or wrong.
I want to do a cartoon bubble here that says, a little help.
You do whatever you want, Tim.
Go ahead, put it in if you
all
want.
yours.
Not enough space.
It's yours,
I
Tim.
write too big.
Then write small.
Yeah. All right. So I think I'm not sure. I say when I'm working on something, I'm just looking at it closely. I'm not stepping back to see.
I'm stepping back.
I feel like I need some warm. And what am I doing? Make sure you get the little eyeball highlights. So that's right here. A little bit here. Don't know. I'm going to clean up the cup a little bit, and then I think we will clean this up a little bit, and then we will come back and reveal after they're done. All right, so we are back to reveal our paintings. Fabulous, fantastic as always, Alan. Let's see
Thank you.
our emerald and espresso. I
And-
love it.
Oh,
Thank
Little
you for
help.
watching us create on our 43rd. Maria's Ideas teaches us to paint with superstar Tim.
Yes, and if you want
Hilltop
to see,
Coffee,
yes,
go there.
Go and see this original in person. I hope you hang it.
oh,
in
it,
this
yeah,
It'll be on the
absolutely.
wall.
There's art on the walls. It's amazing little spot. I just love it there. And
Me
thank you
too.
so much for being in our community. So if you come to our studio, it's right down the street.
I love
8/10
this
of a
little
mile.
spot too, by the way.
Yeah,
I'm
we do
gonna,
too.
I'm gonna have to run up here and spend some more time up
Yeah.
Well, you can paint now.
All right. So thank you,
So-
and hope you get inspired, and you'll be back to watch us for future episodes.